he could get on Michael Jordan's level, Charles Barkley's level, and match it. And the fact that he got injured just made it worse. 1994, he goes to an NBA Finals and loses to the Houston Rockets. I mean, yeah, he played, but he got hurt. And then you go back to the NBA Finals again in 1999 with the same New York Stick doing the 1999 NBA lockout, and you lose to the Twin Towers in San Antonio. You know, a David Robinson, a Tim Duncan. He couldn't stop both of them. I mean, he could stop one, but to stop both was impossible. And some people felt that had there just been one player on that Spurs roster for him to deal with, Patrick, as injured as he was, probably would have won just one NBA championship. But the fact you had Tim Duncan and David Robinson, and then you had a point guard, you had a coach, and Patrick was injured, the guy was never the same after that. And then to get traded to a throwaway team at that time, the Raptors, and to see that he was just, a shell of himself. They sent him to, the Orlando Magics, then back to the Raptors. You could just see he was on the downside of his career. He just wasn't the same player that he was in the 80s and the 90s. Won 3 championships as a college basketball player, gone to the NBA Finals twice, won an MVP. You just see he's just never the same player ever again. Coming in at number 2 is Karl Malone. Karl Malone, Karl Malone, Karl Malone. I mean, the guy gone to 3 NBA Finals. Out of all the players on this list, he's gone to the Finals more than anybody. But how do you go to 3 NBA Finals and lose every time you go to the Finals? Now, to me, Karl Malone was that premier power forward / small forward. He was big, not explosive. He was strong and solid in areas. He could block shots. On an occasion, he had a three-point shot. He made his free throws. The guy could score his 15, 20, maybe 30 points a game. And on an occasion, he could kind of run the basketball. But you never got the sense that he could be on the same level as people like Michael or Magic or Larry Bird. You just never got the sense that he could get on that level. And he showed it later in his career. I mean, he played like 14 years with the Utah Jazz. And it wasn't until almost 10 or 11 years into his career that he finally showed, I could play on the level of a Michael Jordan. I could play on the level of a Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. I'm going to show you. And he does it in the 1997 NBA Finals. And you see, to lose to Michael Jordan was like a blow. It's like, oh my God, he gets MVP and he wins a reward and then he loses in the finals. And people thought that was going to be it. But then he was so motivated that the very next year, Utah goes back to the NBA Finals again. It's like, what? He did what Charles Barkley couldn't do. I want a rematch against Michael Jordan. I want another shot. And to lose to Michael Jordan 2 years in a row is painful. Because 2 years in a row, you lose game 6s. First series ends in 5 games. The second series loses in 6. Because Michael has a rule. I don't play game 7s. And for Karl to be in the same situation twice, to have 2 opportunities to win NBA championships is interesting. And then you get with Kobe Bryant, Shaq, and the Lakers. You get Gary Payton on the Lakers, and you get a third opportunity. You got Shaq, you got Kobe, you got Phil. Can't nothing go wrong, right? Wrong. He's injured. Out of all of the players that should have been injured, Karl Malone gets hurt. And it's like, oh my God, you get a third shot at an NBA Finals, and people said it, if Karl Malone was not hurt. Some people say it should have been Gary Payton, which I think is disrespectful, but if Karl Malone wasn't hurt, Karl could have actually won just one championship. It would have been fine. So he puts up some good numbers, but he was hurt. I mean, if you look at that duration of the playoffs in 2004, he was hurt. And to me, if I'm Karl Malone, you probably might feel like I've been robbed. I go to the finals 3 times, I lose 3 times. It hurts to get to the finals 3 times, and you never actually win a championship. It hurts. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't think about it, but from time to time, he does think about it. It does hurt. Now, coming in at number 1 is a player who gone to 1 NBA Finals his whole career, and just was never the same ever again. And that is Reggie Miller. Played 18 years of professional basketball with one team, the Indiana Pacers. The guy is from Riverside, California. The guy plays at my favorite school, UCLA College. The guy gets drafted. He gets selected 1987 NBA draft, and he becomes this incredible player. People was like, the guy's tall, he's skinny, he's lanky, he's boring. But when he gets on that court, he's a different monstrosity. I mean, Reggie put up a three. Yeah, it's got a funny looking way going inside the basket, but he pops another three and another and another. And you're like, damn, Reggie, I didn't know you could shoot like that. Damn. And the fact that he could compete with a Magic Johnson, a Michael Jordan at the time, and be on that level so early in his career, and to keep it consistent. Most players, their fourth, their sixth, or seventh year, they fall off in shooting production. Not Reggie. Reggie keeps it consistent, and then to get trained, to get mentored by Larry Legend, to take on Michael Jordan in the NBA playoffs is probably one of the greatest highlights of his whole career. The one game where he hits two shots back to back in the 10th of a second, and Michael tries to return fire. It rammed out. It rammed out. The game is tied 2-2. Unbelievable. You know, Reggie's jumping up and down. Yeah, I got Michael. Michael's like, motherfucker. I'm going to get your ass in the next game, Reggie. And this was trash talk, by the way. Michael would tell Reggie, I'm going to take it to your ass. I'm going to show you tonight 45 points in your face. And Reggie would come back and hit some threes and go, yeah, I'm right here with you. Hit another three. Michael, like, I'm going to return fire. Bam. It was like, if you just moved the Bulls and the Pacers off the court and just had Michael and Reggie, people would still tune in and still watch the shit. I mean, that was the stuff of legends. Then the guy finally gets to an NBA Finals in 2000. The guy beats Vince Carter. The guy takes care of the Orlando Magics. The guy does away with Allen Iverson and the Sixers and goes against Kobe Bryant, the man who learned from Michael Jordan. And the idea that Reggie put up those numbers and he's like 34 and Kobe's like 24, it's like, oh my God, what are we watching? Again, you could move the Pacers off the floor, move Shaq and the Lakers off the floor, and let Kobe and Shaq go at it, and people will still watch. It was like Reggie versus Michael all over again. And you kind of got an insight on what was going to happen. Reggie loses the NBA Finals to Shaq and Kobe, and they clinched their first NBA title. And the fact that Reggie was heartbroken after losing, he played more years, and he had another opportunity to go back to the finals when they got Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and they say, hey, we need to win a championship. We need someone with perimeter shooting. And Reggie said, no, but I think you should go get Ray Allen. And to me, I think had Reggie never told him go get Ray Allen, who knows what type of situation that would have turned into. I mean, you could imagine that he could have been on a Celtic uniform and won a title. And Reggie's whole philosophy was, if I didn't win it back then, I shouldn't win it now. It's y'all time to win. I had my opportunities to win. That was Reggie's whole philosophy. Some people respect it. Some people was like, but it still would have been nice to see Reggie actually play on the Celtics and actually get a ring. And Reggie will tell you, it's not my style. So that's why he's number one, because nobody on this list is excited that they're being mentioned in the way they're being mentioned. I mean, some players, they don't understand why they've been put on this list, but Reggie's happy being that number one. Reggie will say, at least I accomplished that. I'm at number one. Reggie would not fight me on this, but other players probably would. And I know some of y'all think the list should be much longer than what it is. I got inside the house, I got lucky, and I might drop another video tomorrow. Until then, peace.